These people thought they had you all figured out. Turns out you're a leader, not a follower. You know how to use your free will, and they can't stand that. There are some people, they envy the fact that you use your free will, that you do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you don't care about who likes it or not. You see, there are some people, they don't have that level of freedom. They're still worrying about other people, being pleased with them. They're still worried about other people's judgment. They're still worried about other people's opinions, but you do not care. You exercise your free will. You are a woman that would lay out in the grass in the rain if it makes you feel good, because you don't care how it looks to other people. You tend to be a little bit more of a free spirit and not such a stick in the mud. And some people don't like that. There are some people, because they are so eager to please others, they get envious of other people who actually exercise their free will. This phrase has been going around TikTok and social media often. And when I think about free will, I think about the freedom that you have as a woman of God. And this is not a spiritual message per se, but I just think about the verse that says, where there is liberty, there is freedom. Meaning, for that, in a spiritual sense, when you have a relationship with God, you are free. And see, people who are still weighed down by the opinions of other people, they don't understand what it means to exercise their free will. I exercised my free will just now when I decided to show up on this video looking like this. Now, I know I am being judged. There are some people who are saying, there's no way this is femininity content when she's dressed like that. She looks a little masculine, don't she? This don't, that. Because a lot of people are followers, and they follow things that are aesthetically pleasing and not genuine and authentic to who they are. I just came back from picking my son up from work. I'm tired, it's freezing outside, and my head is cold. So I decided to show up with this hat on because it makes me feel good. And I also decided that the more I get into this YouTube space, the more I am going to be authentically me. You have seen the authentic version of me, but I'm not so concerned with keeping it all together all the time. So sometimes this is what you will get. Mom just picked up her son from school and she hopped on here and had a message. These people envy the fact that you exercise your free will, and they try to judge you for it. They look down on you and say that you should try to please people more. Believe it or not, some people don't feel good about themselves until other people tell them to. But if you exercise your free will, if you're more of a leader and not a follower, they're not going to like you. If you're a person that walks into a store and buys a birthday cake and it's not your birthday, you just were in the mood for a nice celebration cake, some people will look at you like you're weird. That's a little bit too much usage of your free will, and people aren't accustomed to that. If you are not a follower, and this is the overarching message, I know I started this message out a little bit goofily, but I say all this to say, and there really is a point to this, when you are not a follower, when you are a leader, and I mean leader in the sense that you do what you want to do when you want to do it and how you want to do it, no matter what other people may say, they might not like that. They want you to have the same mindset that says, I'm worried about what so-and-so is going to say. I'm worried about what whatchamacallit is going to say. But if you're not worried about any of that and you're just enjoying your life, they're going to envy you. They're going to envy the fact that you show up as that girl regardless, and nobody can convince you otherwise. And I use myself as this example because I don't normally show up on camera this way. But because I am confident in who I am as a woman, I know my femininity, I know my womanhood, me showing up looking like a thug is okay with me. I'm actually very, very comfortable. And it's a little bit goofy here because, I don't know. Right now, I'm in the mode of, how can I say this? I'm just chilling, I'm just chilling. And I feel like more women need to get to the point where they are just chilling, just be more relaxed. There would be less envy, jealousy, and animosity amongst women if more women knew how to just relax and be themselves. And that really is the point of this message. When you want to be the leader, the main character of your life, you're not worried about or constantly worried about how you look to other people. Now, that is not a permission slip to go out here looking crazy. That is not a permission slip to go out here, mistreating other people and showing up in a less than classy way. But you might not believe this, and people who are often envious and jealous of others, they are masters at telling you what you are and what you are not. Some people would see this look and say, there's no way she's a classy woman. There's no way she could be considered elegant. She doesn't have on pink. She doesn't have on a blouse. She always has on t-shirts. When people don't understand the deeper things when it comes to being classy, having decorum, actually having respect for yourself, in other words, when they are followers and not leaders in their own lives, they don't genuinely know what it is to use their free will. And for me, free will is nothing more than liberty. You're free from the idea that you have to fit a standard of what society says. And for me, my standard is what God says about me. But I digress. These people envy the fact that you use your free will. When you use your free will, people can't stand it. People act like you are committing some kind of crime when you just do what you want to do, how you want to do it. And this even goes for on the job. If you are a worker, and I speak about the job because a lot of women, the jealousy, the envy, the tension they experience is often going on at the workplace. When you use your free will and choose to be the main character of your own life in the workplace, you're going to have people who envy the fact that you don't care if corporate is showing up. You're still going to be you. You're not nervous. You're not anxious. You're not worried about the boss showing up and now you have to perform. You continue to be and do what you continue to be and do. You show up the same every time because that's just who you are. So you don't feel the need to get nervous or antsy when your manager, when corporate, when whomever comes around. And then people in the office, they'll see you just so relaxed while they're running around, as the old folks used to say, like a chicken with the head cut off. And they're trying to figure out, how are you so cool? How are you so calm? How are you so collected? Because I do me regardless of who's around. And me just happens to be that woman that can adapt to whomever I'm around. Regardless, I'm still going to be me. You use your free will in the sense that you are just being authentic to who you are as a woman. And everybody gets that version of you because that version of you doesn't need to change up according to who you're around. See, people who have that envy towards women who have that free will, that authenticity, that leadership, that main character energy, they don't like that you are not doing the same thing and acting in the same way that they are. Groupthink, collective think says, if everybody is nervous about this, you should be nervous too. If everybody else is looking at this girl with disdain and they don't like her for some reason, then you shouldn't like her either. If everybody has already prejudged this individual, then you should prejudge them as well. But when you are an independent thinker, when you have free will, when you decide, regardless of what people say about this person, I'm going to wait to have my own interaction with her and then make my judgment, they're not going to like you. It's because you're not a group thinker. You don't just follow the cliques. You don't just follow what other people are doing. And that could be in what they're doing, how they're dressing, and how they're being. You use your own judgment. In other words, you exercise your free will. You can hear them, but you make assessment based off of what you believe about certain things. See, these people will envy the fact that they are not able to brainwash you and have that kind of pull over you. A lot of women get jealous and envious of other women who are not easily brainwashed into being haters. They're not easily brainwashed into being the kind of women that will automatically go against another woman because of how she looks or because how she acts or because of whatever. And I have to just throw this out there. I don't know why this popped up in my spirit, but the idea of being a mean girl and a woman of God, those two things don't go into the same sentence. So I just had to put that out there. I know that was random, but being a mean girl and saying you're a woman of God, those two just don't go together. But as a woman, you must think that some people They don't understand using your free will. That actually helps you to be more open to not developing hatred and jealousy and envy toward other people. It's because you're not always in competition with other people and they don't like it. See, some women, they want you to have the same mindset that they do. And this is not all women, this goes without saying, but there are some women, they actually want to form bonds with other women based on how much they hate another woman, if that makes sense. And when you're not willing to do that, when you exercise your free will and say, okay, I'm not like this, I don't want any parts of this, I'll just be by myself looking like this, I don't care. And they'll have an issue with you. And a lot of people might not have heard of the usage of free will in this way, but when it comes to using your free will, that can be in anything. It can be down to the things that you eat. Like I said, you want to get a birthday cake when it's not your birthday, so be it. You want to go sit out in the rain because you just want to feel the rain on your skin, so be it. You just want to dress up oddly one day, even though it doesn't necessarily fit the aesthetic, so be it. You're not a follower, you're a leader. And there are some people who don't understand that. There will be some people, and I use myself as an example because it makes the point more clear. There will be some people looking at this video and think, oh, she looks nice with the hair. Oh, I think this, that. Then there'll be some people saying, see, I told you she wasn't a feminine woman. People are going to think what they want to think regardless. Using your free will is a form of just saying you don't care, and I think the older you get as a woman, the less you care about trying to fit the standard of what the world wants you to do. And for me, my standard is God, but thankfully, I have that free will in God. So the older I get, the less I care about trying to fit in with the others. I hope that makes sense. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video till the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely like to see it. Take care.